Hey guys, thanks very much for joining my group again, and thanks for joining the video today as well. Thank you for completing the poll and completing the questions when you come into the group. That's really helpful. I'm trying to build this group based on the needs that you have, based on what it is that you want to hear when it comes to personal development, psychology, and all the things that I have to talk about will be based around what you guys are feeding back to me. So thanks very much for completing that poll. And based on the answers that have been submitted, it seems to be the most common reason that people are interested in joining this group and hearing more is with regards to managing their own mental health at the moment. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And when it comes to mental health, obviously there are so many factors that can influence this based on our own physical health, how our relationships are, interpersonal relationships, how fulfilled we're feeling in life, how able are we to create something and share and feel fulfilled from that process, how well are we able to make decisions and take positive action within our life, how real are we able to be, how authentic are we able to be, and how much are we able to get out in nature and do things that make us feel good, and also how financially secure are we in basic needs and things like that. So all of these different elements are interplaying to impact upon our mental health. So it's not just that there's something wrong with us and we have poor mental health, there's all sorts of other life events that can go on and impact us, of course, as you know. So I want to kind of talk about two solutions that I have delved into the research on when it comes to managing our mental health, but just to kind of bring that broader picture into play, there might be a whole host of life scenarios going on that are making us feel a little bit imbalanced, a little bit unstable. And that is what my book, Saoirse, delves into, all these different elements of life, and it's what my course is delving into as well. So coming back to these two solutions, when I delved into the research back in 2021, this was talking to a group of postgraduate students that were studying psychology. So when it comes to people that have been through their own mental health struggles, that have really delved into the topic, researched the topic, found solutions that work for them, and then want to go on and share this and help other people become counsellors, psychotherapists, etc. This was quite a qualified group that I was just talking to undertake this research and provide some solutions back when it comes to what can we do to make our mental health better. And the two main solutions that came out of this research study were A, taking responsibility for our own mental health. I don't want to trigger anybody with that, because obviously we can find ourselves in some really difficult places sometimes. However, as we bring ourselves back to the awareness that there are things that we can do personally, if we take control of that internal locus of control, we know there are things we can do to enact positive change in our lives when it comes to mental health. So actually taking active responsibility for how we navigate our way through life was one solution that most of this group of qualified individuals would come back to when it comes to balancing their own mental health. So for me, what do I do to actively take control of my own mental health and to navigate my way through life? Mindful practice, of course, a morning practice when I really get to difficult phases in managing my own mental health. Then it's coming back to my daily practice, and there's various different things you can do: meditation, yoga, qigong, a walk, whatever it is that might work for you, but making that really a kind of daily, or 5 or 6 days out of 7 that you can come back to this practice really helps to get me back in balance and back in the driver's seat of taking control of my life, taking control of my own mental health as well. So if you'd like to hear more about these practices, obviously that's what my book Saoirse delves into, but put a question below. I'm happy to share some links or talk to you more about what daily practices you could incorporate to help yourself start to feel better when it comes to mental health. Practices that are going to help tone your vagus nerve. If you haven't delved into the research behind the vagus nerve, I find it super interesting. Again, I talk about that a lot in my book, but you can go and do your own research as well. But what is it that helps this vagus nerve, which is switched on when we're in that parasympathetic flow? What helps switch that on? As I said, mindful practice, also time in nature. So I'm back out here in the woods. Hopefully you're getting a little bit of sensory overload bombardment just through my video. I hope the wind isn't too noisy, but there's some nice bird song and beautiful scenes as well. So taking yourself off out into the woods is again something I like to talk about, research, and it's definitely up there in how we can take responsibility for our own mental health. Just go for a walk in the woods. Undoubtedly you will come back feeling better, even if the weather's a little bit dodgy, as it oftentimes is in Scotland. Another thing we can do, manual therapies, for example a massage. I know that's a little bit more costly, but it can really help switch on that parasympathetic nervous flow if it's a trusted, good therapist that you're going to see, and that can just help us feel safe and secure and bring us back out of that fight or flight and anxious states of being. Interval training also, so weight training, resistance training. We have some people in the group that are experts in this field, and you know, in time I'll hopefully get some of the other members of this group to come in and talk a bit more about what it is they do as well. But interval training, something that makes me feel a little bit more strong and empowered. I'm going to go to the gym later on today and do my little interval training workout, and then I'm going to follow that up with a sauna, which is something else that I find just clears my physical body, clears out all the toxins that can maybe build up and make me feel a little bit dead and depleted. So interval training, you don't need to incorporate the sauna, but that's something that I love to do. And then how many are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When it comes to taking responsibility for mental health, the 6th thing on my list here is social connection. So it's not just simply going out and being sociable and going out and interacting. The second thing that this group of qualified psychology students found to be imperative when it comes to managing their own mental health was active navigation of their social environment. So that means finding networks, finding people that are, you know, trusted support networks that make you feel good, make you feel positive. And there can be people in life, and there can be networks we find ourselves in that are at times not so supportive, not so helpful, not so positive and uplifting. So active navigation of that social environment, sometimes it is a matter of removing ourselves from interacting with certain people or reducing that down as much as possible when they're perhaps closer in your inner circle. Actively navigating our way through that social connection, social environment has a really strong impact on our mental health. And that's what I'm trying to do with this group. Again, it's quite difficult on social media to build that sense of rapport, that sense of connection with one another, but that's really what I'm hoping to do with this group. And as it grows and it builds, there will be in-person workshops, there'll be more group calls, there will be retreats further on down the line as well. So, you know, what can you do based on what I've just talked through? What can you do today to take more responsibility for your own mental health based on that list of 6 things that I just covered? And secondly, how can you actively navigate your way through your social environment that is going to bring, you know, more of a sense of safety, nurture, positivity into your life with the social connections that you have. So that was the research that I wanted to chat with you about. And just one last message to finish off this little video. For me, the main message I have to share through Saoirse covers through all of these points that I've discussed. But the main message from the book is about having more faith in where being led by love actually can shift our perspective to show that actually we're not stuck. And I'll delve more into that message perhaps in a future video, but for today, maybe you could just think about when you're actively navigating your way through your social environments, when you're taking more responsibility for your mental health, what is it that you can do that makes your heart feel a little bit more open, a little bit more expansive? Or it might be like this embalming warm glow that you feel within your heart space. So build that incorporate that into your decision-making processes when you are thinking about taking responsibility for your own mental health and actively navigating your way through social environments. Okay, thanks very much for listening. This video got a little bit longer than I anticipated, but thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you soon. Please comment below your own tools, techniques, anything you have to share. Bye.